Hello, everyone. This is Paula Guthrie from Creating Purpose with Pau. I welcome you to the Spanglish World Network, Spanglish Sport World Network, and Heart Network on Single TV channels 249, 250, and 251. Please remember to download Single TV app on the respective app stores. The app is totally free. You can find Single TV and Google Chromecast on Amazon Fire, Fire TV Stick, Roku Stick, and all smart TVs from 2016 and forward. Welcome, welcome everyone. Today in the house we have Arnaldo Lizarraga. He is a self development specialist who specializes in neuroencoding and brain health. He helps his clients overcome procrastination, hesitation, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection, and much, much more. He has run 4 marathons. So, welcome to the house and thank you for being here.
Hi, how you guys doing? I'm happy to be here and just introduce myself. Once again, my name is Arnaldo. Paula mentioned it. I've I've worked with people, who procrastinate, hesitate themselves, or just being fear of success, fear of failure. That happens to all of us, and it still happens to me sometimes. And I just know how to get yourself back into that mode and that action that it takes you out of that.
Yes,
So
tell us, share with us how have you been able to like run 4 marathons? So please share with us because I can, it's like I've been able to run only 2 to 3 miles, and that has been a challenge. So, uh,
I mean, one of the things that it's asking yourself one time, it just after the pandemic, I started asking myself, what do I really want? What do you want to do? And there was this thing behind my head, like since I was in high school, that I did other sports, but people have told me, you're good at running and running this and running that. And all of a sudden I was like, I started doing exercise and stuff like that. But back in my mind was like, you know what? I see people running at the age over 40. So I was like, you know what? I think I could do that. So I just started doing something that it felt like I wanted to do. And I started doing it and I love it since then. I've been running, once again, I've been running those 4 marathons. After that, it all started with just that little step, which it was like, let me just run 20 minutes. Let me just run around the block. Then after that, it became 10 minutes. After that, it became 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden, it just started building from there. I was like, let me get a goals running a marathon. And then it just started from that. It just starts like anything else, one step at a time. So
now, I like I mentioned before, I've been able to run 2 to 3 miles, and that happened when I was in college, and that was my stress relief. Like I had to run in order to like feel neutral, because I just felt a lot of, I had to pass cell biology, organic chemistry, you know, all those, good classes, but at the same time, it was stressful. So I would run, and every time I ran, Arnaldo, there was a voice in the back of my head or on the side telling me, okay, that's enough. Okay, you can stop. Come on. Like it's okay if you stop, not a big deal. But then I was stubborn enough to be like, no, I have to finish my either 2 miles. And then from there, I went to 2.5 to 3. But there was always a fight. And I had to kick that voice out of the side so that I can continue to go. Okay, like my voice would say, okay, that's enough. You can stop. Not a big deal. So how? I'm telling you about 2 miles now. Running a marathon. Do you have those thoughts?
do have those thoughts. As a matter of fact, I still have do it now. Those that little voice just always comes around. I think we all hear it here and there. To you not good enough, to like you're not a good parent. What are you doing? That little voice is still there. And yes, when I'm running and when I started running, my goal was to run the marathon. Okay. And while I was running that marathon, that voice came several times, into the point that I was like, um, telling me, wait a minute, what are you doing here? And and it's funny because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I'm running this marathon, and it keeps insisting. It's like, for what, And after that, when I'm running, and that was my first marathon, and all of a sudden, I hear another person right next to me saying to his other friend, be like, hey, this is on the 18 miles. And then he goes and tells the other friend, and he goes, who the F idea was to sign up for this marathon. Well, I'm having my own voice telling me, he bet he has his own voice too, telling him, and he tells and he expresses it to his friend. So we all got that voice. But what did I did? I snapped myself and be like, Arnaldo, just get away from that energy, just run a lot faster, because I need to bring down a little bit more down the noise, that little voice. And I kept insisting, like, being, no, let's finish it. I keep visioning it. I have the vision that I was going to cross that line. And there was no negotiable. There was nothing negotiable after that. I was going to do it, no matter if I was walking, crawling, whatever that case may be. But I was determined to finish.
So here is, you're giving us an example of how I see two examples. The first one is like how to interrupt that pattern. Like, whereas somebody saying, who helped us sign up for this? Who was,
Hmm.
whose idea was it to sign up for this marathon? And then
Hmm.
you had to, probably for a second, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel the same way. But then you learn to
Hmm.
interrupt that pattern because it was not serving you. You were visualizing to finish, to get to the end goal. And then the second one is that you're proving your identity. You're proving who you are, by finishing, by interrupting those patterns. Could you dive into these two concepts for our beautiful audience tonight?
So yeah, there's the identity part, which that I always tied up with kids. So first of all, you have to understand that you are a runner even before that you start running. The identity part of it is and I tied up with kids. It's like kids start playing, they visualize themselves at first as that person. And me, like saying Superman, Batman, they start acting like Superman, Batman after they identify themselves as that person or who they are. So first of all, and I hear a lot of people be like, they have to feel that they have to finish something in order to call themselves a runner, or call themselves whatever that may be, instead of just coming in and you're already running. What's the definition of running, of a runner?
Running.
Is running. As long as you start running, is you are a runner, in my point of view. And that's how I took it. I took it as the time that I started running, I call myself a runner. No matter if I was running around the block, or I was running a marathon, or whatever that case may be, I'm still a runner. So identify yourself, create that identity on you. So there's no doubt on that little voice. You'll be like, wait a minute, you're not a runner. No, yes, I am. I'm running. What is the definition of a runner? I'm running. And as long as I'm running, I'm a runner. So I put in myself in that perspective, because we could make up a lot of things within that, saying, in order for me to call myself a runner, I have to at least run 10Ks, which is 6 miles, or 5Ks, whatever that case may be. At first, you have to identify, once again, you don't have to be and make a big thing to, in order for you to call yourself whatever that is. So, yes. So I became, I identified myself as a runner, first of all. Now, the pattern interrupt part of it is tied up somewhat with that. Um, I think we, in life, as a matter of fact, one client that I had in life, we start doing something, whatever that is. Let me give you an example. I'm gonna go back into this, so I'm just gonna preframe it, just going back into what part and interrupt in the example of what I had this client. So this client was telling me, that all of a sudden it's like, hey, I was reading, I was doing this, I was doing that. You know, that person was actually doing the stuff that that person put themselves for, let's say, for a New Year's Eve resolution, for a New Year's resolution. Right now we're in March. So I've started doing all this stuff, but all of a sudden something happened, a challenge happened, and then all of a sudden I'm not doing what I was doing before. I don't know what happened to me. That's a pattern interrupt that happens all the time for us. I think we all agree with that sometimes in our life we start doing something, all of a sudden something in our life
Yeah.
happens and it just throws us off, and then it's like, wait a minute, I was doing this, what am I doing this now? That's a pattern interrupt. So we have it no matter what in our daily life, that distracts us, that takes us away for what we want. Now we want to control that part of interrupt. Hey, this is works out in our benefits. So what I do is, uh, for example, on that day, I knew it was going to be difficult. So how do I get myself into a pattern interrupt? Like, wait a minute, this doesn't work for me, so I keep going. So what do? I put myself in a state that gets me in a weak mood, or something that I feel sad or depressed, or whatever that case may be for me. And then I was like, oh, a challenge that I couldn't imagine, and I said to myself, you know what, Arnaldo, stop it, feel good about myself. I know you could do this. Throw my hands up and be like, Arnaldo, you got this. I'm a magnificent, something that will keep me going. So I do this repetitive every morning, 10 times a day, because I want to, because life is going to throw you lemons, and they keep
Mhm.
saying, make lemonades out of lemons. So you just don't wait for it. You start learning how to make lemonade before that lemon comes. And then when that lemon comes, when you're ready, you snap, so to say, snap out of it, no?
Yeah.
And you redirect whatever you want to go in. And that's what I did. I put myself and lowered that little voice so many times when I was running, and doing all that and practicing all that. So by the time it shows up that loud, I'm able to interrupt it and then keep going to whatever I want to do.
Now, this technique for our beautiful audience tonight, whoever is watching us, this can help you at any time. It doesn't have to be that you're running a marathon to
Mhm.
interrupt your pattern. So, this can happen every day at any time that you need to interrupt the pattern. That bad thought, right? Is like those negative thoughts where it's like you say stop.
Mhm.
It's like you have to feel bad for just a second and you say stop, right? And then you fill in the scotoma, because you
Uh-huh.
make an empty space whenever you say stop. So we have to fill it in with something good. And in this case, you begin to celebrate yourself, right, Arnaldo? You begin
Yeah.
to put in the good thought.
And you celebrate after that, and you feel good about yourself. You say good things about yourself. That's where you come about. So you start practicing that all the time. It's like, and you said it, Paula. It doesn't have to be because of running.
Yeah.
It could be like doing exercise. Oh, you meant to wanted to read a book every day, and then instead of saying reading book, and all of a sudden you like, it'd be a lot easier if I go and watch Netflix. You just interrupt your patterns right there, and you say, wait a minute, what do I really want? And then it's like, hold on, and then you recognize it,
Yeah.
and after that you just change and lift it, because you change that direction, you interrupt that pattern, because at the end of the day, we have in our life, you're trying to beat that pattern of interruption. You want to interrupt your old patterns to that new pattern that you want in your life.
Yeah, exactly. Like moms, any moms out there, I'm a mom of three. I have one kid that is driving. Can you imagine every time the phone rings? I mean, negative thought thinking, oh my gosh, something happened. But I have to learn to interrupt the pattern, Arnaldo. I've been able to like practice where it's like stop. It's like he's probably going to tell me that he met Adam Sandler. He's probably going to tell me that he met someone really awesome, that he was blessed by something. That's what he's going to tell me. And I use that as a mom because imagine being worried all the time.
Mhm.
That's not a happy place to live, being worried all the time. So I've been able to practice this technique. It's like stop, and feeling that worry with something excited, something that my kid's gonna share with me, saying, Mom, this happened today, and I feel blessed. So for any moms out there, it's a technique that I use constantly, not just in my personal life to accomplish my goals, but also, when I get that worry about my kids.
Exactly. Exactly. That's just in anything. And I use it for myself too, as a parent myself, just the same way that you're saying. So
Yeah.
that's exactly, that's what you want. And then asking why you really want. Does that serve you? Is that serving you that you worry all the time?
Yeah.
So I bet all of us saying, and I bet everybody's saying, I just don't want, I want to worry less. There you
Yes.
go.
Goes
That's
back to your identity, right? Goes back to
exactly.
your identity. Who are you and what values do you want to practice?
Exactly.
And sometimes our behavior does not match our identity.
Exactly.
So in order just, to mold that identity is like we use this stop technique.
Exactly. And and I invite everybody to actually start doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you have two beautiful young little girls, right?
Yes.
And as a dad, I bet you worry too.
Exactly. No, that's always. I mean, if they're not home or whatever the case may be, it is like it's always a worry no matter what.
Yeah.
Uh, and then that goes back to where you're pressing at. When I'm pressing on my running, and those are the things that I wanna be present all the time too. So it's kind of in that direction that you wanna give your attention, whatever that case may be. Like you're saying, like your son coming up to you and trying to tell you something.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that about running, what do you think when you're running? Like, is there a goal that like your picture, like you said, your visual, you
So
have a vision. So,
so I think it does has grow as it's going by. First of all, I wanted to run Mount Marathon, and then all of a sudden I've run four now. Now my belief has changed a lot, and it comes down now into the point that I want to be. I've seen it. It's like 80. I want to be 80, 90 years old still running. I just want to keep running. I visualize myself into right now into 80, 90 years old and running. Why do I do running? It's because it shows me more. There's three things that shows me out of that. It's the discipline, first of all, that keeps me going in one direction. That simplifies. Second is the endurance. The endurance that I could endurance, it means in anything, health, whatever that case may be, career, that gives me that no matter what the obstacle I get or the challenge that I get throughout the process of me running, the pain, whatever, I still keep going. And that showed me that I'm able to endure whatever that case may be. And then lastly is the health part of it, because I want to live longer, and not only um like I'm doing it because to live longer. No, I just want to live longer and active and happy with this, because like you just told me at the scatoma when you interrupt, I want to get those dopamines. I want my mind to um to expand, so to say, or to clarify, or to it has helped me to see a lot of things in a different way. So I picture myself doing this running for the past 80, when I'm 80 years old and all that stuff, because I see it and I still want to do it. So, and that ties up to the coaching and all the stuff. So I could see that anybody could do anything. It doesn't mean have to be, once again, it doesn't have to be running. It could be anything that you wanna do. That age is just a number.
you're all right. Yeah. So, anyone that is here tonight that has been thinking about maybe beginning to run, they may consider to run a marathon in the future. What would you advise them?
The advice is there's so many stuff in the social media. There's a lot of stuff. Even myself got so overwhelmed of what everybody's telling you. You know, you should drink this, you should eat this, you should put yourself into this. You know, what kind of shoes should I run with? There's so many ways. Should I run barefooted? Should I run with those hokas that has a big cushion on it? You get overwhelmed for all the stuff that is. And at the end of the day, is once again is first of all going back to that is the identity. That's the important. I think the state that you put yourself in is more important mentally, because at the end of the day, if you don't believe that you could run over, let's say 3 5 miles or 6 miles, how are you gonna do it if you don't believe in yourself that you cannot do it? And those it ties up all these stuff is tied to mentally. And I've noticed with people that I've coached uh into that, like first of all have a goal on it, that if you're going to be running, let's say a 10K or 5K, put a date and sign up for it. And the first thing is going to be scared. It's going to be some setback, but like don't sign on it, because what about if I don't make it? What about if I don't? You sign a date. If it's the next 6 months, you sign up for that 5K. Just research on your area, and there's gonna be a 5K or 10K, whatever that is for you. Sign up for it, and then train for that. Because why? Because at the end of the day, once you put a target on it, your mind will actually be like, okay, hey, Paula or Arnaldo, we gotta run because we got a due date on that day. So that helps a lot, and that goes to your identity. That's the mental part of it. So set up a goal first and set up that
Schedule it.
schedule. Exactly.
Yeah, it matters. It
It
matters when we
matters.
schedule it.
Exactly. So that's the first thing. Now the second thing is like just go ahead and run. Just get a good, and I would say good. I would say just get a running shoe, and then just give it a try. You're always gonna pivot. I've pivoted so many times with shoes, the stuff that I drink, how much I drink. This the you're gonna still keep pivoting and working, but as long as you start, that's the main thing. Because you're gonna start looking which one is the best shoe for whatever. No matter the brand, no matter, just grab some shoes, because at the end of the day, you're gonna find what works for you the best. And that's just get it started, just start running, and then okay, how do I feel? Check on you, and then just keep going. And be kind to yourself and celebrate. Once again, celebrate each time that you actually running, and whatever that those miles that you put yourself into, if you conquer it or not, just celebrate, because just the fact that you went out there and started running, that is enough. That's good to celebrate, because it gets harder just by starting at the beginning, and that's the hardest part, to start it. Once you're running, you're gonna keep doing it. So it's just getting those more started. So
Yeah. Celebrate. Yes, I agree with you. I
celebrating it, yeah.
I remember the old times when, I just, like I said, I only ran 2 to 3 miles, but I remember that it was a must, and I schedule it.
There you go.
And it works for any goals that you'll have. Schedule it.
Exactly.
Schedule it. Uh, I was going to talk to you about, uh, like today was scheduled, and you could have canceled because something happened to you a week ago, and he didn't cancel. You know, you're here with us,
Yeah,
inspiring other people. So I so appreciate you for being here. You scheduled this
exactly.
interview,
I'm
and you're
Yeah,
here, and you had all the right to reschedule it, and you didn't. You're here with us, inspiring people. So thank you, thank you.
yeah, and repetition is the mother, is the mother of all skills. It's like you repeat it and you put yourself in that state. So now that you mentioned that, that was a challenge. That's a pivot in my life. I mean, now that you mentioned that, that would pivot into this. So as I saying, after you do workout, so I've been running. Think I started, yeah, I started my first marathon in 2021. I've done like 5 half marathons. I've done like, I think, 3 or 4 10Ks. And I got several medals. I got a lot of medals, like 15 medals. So and I'm not saying this to just brag about myself. Is an opportunity to see yourself in the same place that I am. Is nothing to brag. I might sound a little bit arrogant by saying that, but it's any other way. Is the possibilities that you have, and that's how I saw it when other people did it. The possibilities on that. That hey, you could do it. Like that 80-year-old that I'm seeing that is gonna run. That's gonna be me because it gives me an example. I model that. I want to model that. So I just want to put that out there now that I'm saying this. So let me go back to that whole thing about pivoting and understanding where you are. So, and when something happens or any challenge happens, it's a time to just reset yourself, look back, what is working for you and what is not working for you. So, um, on my birthday was last Wednesday, a week from now, like you just said, it happened a week from now. I I was gonna I was gonna do some other work that I do every day. So my everyday work that I do, I'm an electrical technician too. So I go really early in the morning. But that day I had something else I was gonna do later on in the morning. So I was like, I'm gonna squeeze my workout because workout has been great. Working out with the strength of my muscles has worked out on my running. So I go, I'm gonna squeeze a workout. You're trying to squeeze in every every little thing that you could do because you're determined to do what you want to do. So I squeeze it in at 5 in the morning. Uh, one of the so this happened, and this is a pattern interrupt, but it didn't work as a pattern. It works as a pattern interrupt, no. So what happens to me is I did my workout, everything worked out great, and when I got up, so we do some stretching. After my stretching, I got up, put my hands up, and then a stretch. It felt so good. I still remember it. And then right when I putting my hands down, my arms down, I fainted. Lights went out. Don't remember anything. So what happens is I fell forward, hit my head on the side, broke my glasses, and my glasses, as you can see, gave me 9 stitches. I got a cut here, which created 9 stitches on right underneath my eye. Now, could I cancel it? Yes, but I was determined to be here. Now, that created going back to wait a minute, what happened? You know, not enough blood, not enough oxygen. They they put it to dehydration. My heart is great. Everything is when I passed all the tests. It was just I was out for 10 seconds. Then we don't know what happened. Now I could go back, and the only thing that I'm not prioritizing in my life these past years is sleep. I could tell you right now, and I've been a good example because we all do different stuff. Uh, I haven't been good with my sleep. And I could say I could sleep. I sleep for 5 to 6 hours a day. So, and because I want to do everything, I just don't want to fall asleep. I'm determined. I'm doing all this, and now I'm putting that. Wait a minute, Arnaldo. You gotta prioritize your sleep. You gotta, you gotta. That's the first thing that came about. Is prioritize that came by my mind. Prioritize my sleep. Now I'm just putting a schedule it, and even simple as scheduling that. And right now I have a schedule that I gotta go to sleep these 8 hours from this time to this time. I'm gonna drop everything off and then scheduling, like you say, Paula, and put in that, and then keep going. And because I want to still be that 80-year-old that is gonna be running, which is ties up with that. And even though even though it happened where it happened, and I have people coming to me, it was in a class. They come and check me out. They ask me questions. I was conscious. Everything was fine. Everything. They was telling, I'm sorry that happened to you on the birthday. And the only thing I was thinking, even somebody told me, and they put it on Facebook because I put pictures and everything. I'm all smiling and laughing. And at the end of the day, it's like, congratulate yourself. I still went out there. This happened. It's
Yes.
still, I didn't want it to happen. I don't think I want it to happen to nobody else. But what else can I do? It's out of my control. I could check it, but I still celebrate. I still put myself in a state that what can I learn from this?
Yes.
It's not a mistake. It's nothing that I did wrong. It's what can I learn from this? And that's what I learned from the asking those questions. I went back to the to the place that I went, which I go to Orange Theory, to the trainer. I talked to the trainer after that, and the first thing that came out of my mouth is like, "Wow, you're getting a great attitude out of this." Yeah, I mean, what once again, what else can I do? I just celebrate. I know I step up, and I know I show up. This happened, unfortunately. Now I could look back, got to do some changes, and then still work on it. I'm back. I'm back. I'm gonna be back over there just running. Right now, the doctors say not to run, which I was, I was like, no, but I can at least walk. Yeah, but I'm gonna be walking anyway.
Okay.
Once again, it's still be in a good state. Like coming over here, look how even people get impressed how much of improvement that I've gotten
Yeah,
since.
because you had two. You had another one on the bottom, right? Like you have one here.
Yeah, and my face was, you know, you saw the whole part of my side of my face, and the eye looked like somebody. I went to a fight and and I had the bruise of the eyes. Uh, that's the attitude. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's the attitude. I'm also DJ on the weekend, and I still went to LA.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah, a DJ too, and I was like, and they felt like I was gonna the same thing like you're saying. They felt like I was gonna
Cancel.
I was canceled, but they were waiting for the call for me to cancel, which I didn't. I was like, no, I'm still gonna be there and still
Awesome.
showing up because I still feel good.
Yeah, and how beautiful, what can we learn from this experience? Anybody, right now who is dealing with something that was unexpected,
Hmm.
how can you make it better? Like
Hmm.
instead of dwelling in the drama, let's go back to the suspense. I was like, "Ooh, how can we make this better?"
Exactly.
Like after a car wreck, you're like, "Oh my gosh, happened. Okay, what can I learn from this? How can I make my life better?"
Exactly. Exactly. That goes back to what I'm saying, like how, it's like go like you say, I could dwell on it. I could be like, why you see, I'm gonna give up running. The first thing that they said, there was a guy, I think, yeah, nurse told me, and he says, I hope you don't giving up your exercise routine. I was like, I laughed. I was like, yeah, I could understand that. I could
Yeah.
understand how people could actually feel that way and they feel afraid after that.
Yeah, because
E-
usually that's scientifically that's how the brain works. Like if
Exactly.
something bad happens, your brain teach you not to do it again.
Exactly.
But you and I know, you
Exactly.
know,
Is it
neuroscience.
bad? Is it bad? No, it's something. And then the question is, it bad? Like right now when you say that, it's like it's bad. Is it? No, it's something that my perception or my interpretation is like no, Arnaldo, you just gotta people. You gotta work on here that you haven't worked on, and you knew it all along. Because I read so many
Come on, we both
studies on
know
that.
about brain health.
Exactly, exactly, exactly,
But I mean, here we go. We use what it works for us, and we share
exactly,
whatever we know, right? But
exactly.
hey,
Hey, and that's the thing. It's like, and somebody reminded me that it's like, hey, Arnaldo, you gotta, it's like, yeah, I know, but I thought I was the only person that couldn't get away with that.
you thought you were Tony Robbins.
Yeah, I thought I was too strong to actually know that it wouldn't
Uh,
work. Yeah, that nah, I could get over that. That should
uh,
be no problem. But
uh,
that's a big, like, it's like, I gotta put myself in a situation that I gotta meet myself, that I have some responsibility. And after that it's like, okay, I could pivot from here. Now I have a story,
oh yeah.
that I could say, hey, and who should have looked into and go back into the books and going back, and what can I do from now on, because I cannot dwell what should have done. Now I'm just going, why is the next, because we're not all perfect. At the end of the day, I'm still working. uh whoever we modeling into, and that could be Paula, that could be Tony Robbins, that could be the person that we get neuroencoding. Joseph, that could be the brain health with Dr. Amen, that could be any of these people that all of us, Dr. Hyman, all this, most of these people that are watching this are people that are following, that they know what I'm talking about, most of them. And whoever they're modeling, these people are still working the same thing that they're teaching. It doesn't stop. It's like you don't go to the gym just one time and be like, okay, I feel good, and you're no longer doing it anymore. That doesn't mean that the little voice went away. They still, these big stars or whatever who they are, they still got that little voice.
Yeah.
There's still that feeling of imposter syndrome. They still comes out. They still gotta work every day with all of that every day. So you see them hurt. You see them, getting the surgery, whatever. Why? Because they're still experimenting. We're still working. So
Doing, I
doing,
see you doing, like you
exactly.
are doing, like you're filling your schedule with all these beautiful activities because you're still you're serving and you want to get better and better. And I
Exactly.
admire that, Arnoldo, because there's a lot of people on the other side that are afraid of success. They're afraid of being rejected if they go for more, like,
Exactly.
I know people that don't want to work out because they think, well, if I'm in good shape, so I might get divorced because that happened to the person around the corner. And it's just to keep it easy, I'll just stay the way I am. I'm content. I'm happy right here, happy
Uh-huh.
with my body. It's okay. There are people out there that rather stay on the comfort zone because they're afraid of what could happen, if I run a marathon and I win, if I become famous, if I become better than what I am right now. They're afraid.
Exactly. If I put myself in a place like this, you know what I mean? It's the same scenario.
Yeah.
Now, I'm talking about how you should work out and everything. All of a sudden, my people might come across, yeah, this happened to you because, yeah, definitely yes, and I could point out what actually might happen. Now, I'm gonna work. Does that guarantee that me sleeping those 8 hours ain't gonna happen again? I don't know. I don't know. Well, we still work with it. We still practice. We're still doing what you want to do. I admire those people that still do what they do no matter what. And it's like, if that's what makes them happy, uh,
They're
if
still on
jumping
the
out of a plane, if jumping out of a plane on parachutes are what they're making happy and they're doing it every day, hey,
Yeah.
keep doing it. You know what I mean? They put all the people and they dive with them, and they do it every day. So if that's what make them happy, hey, keep doing it. And there might be challenges. They might have had challenges themselves, but that's not me. I'm not the parachute guide. So
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm not there yet. So I have a question. What do your family think? Like, what does your wife and your girls think about you, like, keep doing after this happened?
so now that's a great question. There are I could say right now that I have now that you mentioned that, they never told me that, they didn't say don't stop doing it. You know what I mean? That's for sure.
Oh.
They didn't say that. They say that they are afraid of it for sure now that this happened, and that I point out what could be the problem, which it was sleep.
Mhm.
That was like, yeah, they know that they kind of like, yeah, you do too much. You know what I mean? So I gotta go back into my schedule and everything. What can I take out in order to still, I mean, taking out it's already in advance, no? So they understand what I'm saying because I'm pointing it out. Another thing, yeah, when they saw me, my daughter, when they saw me that I got hurt, they started crying. They felt, afraid. You know what I mean? This happened to me. Then again, they look at me right now and they're like, "Oh, you're good, you're fine, you're looking better." So that shows you that you don't stay the same. That shows them that, yeah, stuff happens,
Yeah. And
and
life continues.
it kind of continues. And look at my body's healing. It doesn't mean that you stay like that forever. So it shows them an example that, if they come across to a challenge themselves. I heard it. I heard it from a cousin of mine. Her son, what comes into mind, and I told her about it. That was a great way she put it. Her son was loved baseball since he was I mean, 2, 3 years old, always carrying a baseball glove and a baseball. Then I think about 8 years old, 9 years old, 10, around there, he got hit really bad with the ball, and then he started being afraid of the ball.
Mm,
Then he didn't want to play because he was afraid.
mm,
So he's like, I don't want to play, but he's still okay. He told him, okay, you don't want to play, that's okay. But and this is a big but. The thing is, like, he we didn't want to play, but he was still sleeping with his baseball glove. He still was next to this baseball glove. He wouldn't let it go. So the mom, my cousin is like, hey, wait a minute. He still loves the game. Why you're not playing? And then he told us, like, son, if you really wanna play, don't stop doing it because you're afraid of. Just do it because you don't want to do it. But it's because of fear. You're not gonna be happy because in your heart you want to play, but fear is stopping you. Goes back to what we're talking about. At that, since he had that conversation, that kid went back to playing, and he took it. Doing what you love doing, it will actually diminish that fears, diminish that voice that you have. So he went back and he's playing right now. He's 17 years old, and he's playing. He,
yeah.
he, he might be playing. He might be playing in the, for all we know, in the major leagues and stuff like that. He's got scouts over there. He's from Venezuela, so I'm
Oh.
from Venezuela. So you never know.
Hey,
And
yeah, you never know. There's a lot of awesome baseball players from, from
yeah,
Venezuela. So
exactly. Exactly. You never know. So if he's stopping for because if he's stopping because of fear, that shouldn't be. I mean, that's not even in my mind anymore. And
and
that's the thing.
And how many of us stop because of fear?
Mhm.
Like, remember whenever you probably posted your first video live or on social media, were you afraid? Because I remember clicking, like post and then wanting to run under the bed and just cover up under the bed, being afraid. But
Exactly.
it was something bigger than me that wanted to overcome that fear.
Exactly.
And look at us now. We're here sharing, inspiring what we've
Exactly.
learned.
Exactly. Exactly. Because that's the thing. It is sad that somebody could actually stop what they love to do because of fear. You know what I mean? That's sad. And if that's the case, you wouldn't be happy because what you believe or what you have in your heart, there's a meaning to that. And that's there's somebody saying, if it's God, the universe, whatever that you believe, is
Yeah.
giving you that to keep pushing on that, or what you want to do, or what makes you
I mean, Eduardo, our awesome producer, still remembers my first show, he says. so,
happy.
so, anyone here tonight, what's stopping you? What's the fear that you have to deal with that is stopping you
Uh-huh.
from being awesome, from being magnanimous? Like as a mom, like I said, is like sometimes fear. I look at the phone and I know it's my son. Is like, oh my goodness, why is he calling me? And the first thing is like, usually is like something bad happened, and I have to interrupt the pattern. It's like, oh no, he's gonna tell me something really exciting. you know. So sometimes fears stop us even from being awesome parents, don't you think, Arnaldo?
Oh, 100%. Now that you mentioned that, I invite everybody to think this way, and I heard it this way, and yeah, automatically our mind will go into fear no matter what, automatically. And they put it this way: if you were in the jungle, let's say you're on the forest, jungle, whatever that case may be, and then there's a bushing, and all of a sudden you hear noises in the bushing. Most likely your mind, everybody's brain, my brain will go and say, there's a predator that's going to kill me out of it. There's a snake, there's a tiger, there's something in there. But we don't think about a bird that might be in there. The first thing is coming, the fear comes in first, and then they say something that I have to hide, I have to watch out, because what's going to come after that is something's going to kill me, eat me, whatever that might be. Whatever is the fear that is the first automatically thing. No, once again, and 99% who has happened to that. 99% is like a little bird comes out, a little lizard comes out, and not even close to what we thought it was. So is that is that mind? Is that mind? That mind is there to defend and
Yeah.
fear. Watch out for that. But it translates to what you say about your son. It translates to what I do or anything that is happening, and that's something that we have to train
Yeah.
and stop that pattern
Yeah.
because
Adam
it's not
Sandler.
serving us.
Yeah. I chose Adam Sandler. I was like, oh, he met Adam Sandler. So,
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly,
whatever works for you all, to
exactly,
turn that fear into something exciting, please
exactly,
do so.
exactly. I might
Where,
see that little bird coming out. I don't know. He might say hi to me. I don't know.
where, where can we find you?
You can find me in with my name arnaldolizarraga.com. That's I got it. You can find me there, and I got all the stuff I got right now. I got a couple of courses you guys could look into. I got them in Spanish and English. So not only I serve to the English speakers, but I also serve for the Spanish speakers.
Yes.
So I like to work with both of them. That would actually work best for you. So yeah, they could find me at that arnaldolizarraga.com.
And you're on LinkedIn, Facebook.
I'm in LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and yeah, and all of those things. If you guys want to learn a little bit about what I do and what I could help you on and all that stuff, and it, if it resonate on you of what I'm talking about, if it's running, pattern interrupt, you fall on your face and you need to bounce back after falling your face. There we go.
Uh,
That's me. Even if it is because of the hurt part of it or the embarrassment after that too. So
You're awesome. You're awesome. And he does small videos, short videos in his social media. So please follow him for inspirational, short videos that we all need. We all need those inspirational videos now on to get us back into our outcome. Because sometimes, the news, maybe we heard something and then our mind dives into that drama, and learning to get out of that drama and go into the suspense of a beautiful life. It takes some effort for us to dive our mind into that suspense mode of like, ooh, what's going to happen? What is he going to tell me today? I wonder what could happen for your kid, for your husband.
exactly.
Yes. What is a last message that you would share with our beautiful audience today?
That just keep doing. I mean, one of the things that I tell my people is like go for it. Never give up. Go for it. Never give up. I have on my medal says never give up, and I think those are tests that gives me life. And it's gonna be challenge. It's gonna be more for others. It's gonna be less for others. Whatever that case may be, and how you take it, just never give up for whatever goals or dreams, whatever that case may be, whatever that means to you. Don't stop because we only got one life, and as time goes by, that was your time for today, and I spent it here with you, and the next thing and the next day, and just it doesn't have to be 100%. It could just be a little movement of 1%. The compound effect will grow within that. So
I totally agree. Yes, keep doing, keep showing up. Sometimes we give our 100%, sometimes we only have 80% to give, or
yeah,
sometimes we only have 60, but we continue to choose to show up. So thank you so much, Arnaldo Lizarraga, for being here with us today, inspiring us and sharing your story. So
okay. Thank you for having me, Paola.
thank you all very much for joining us tonight. As always, it's with much, much love for all of you. You can watch the replay in any of my social media or YouTube channel. This show can also be heard on Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all news and programming. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Blessings to you all, and we'll see you soon.